Welcome to Dropped Frames, your number one podcast for all things Twitch, aka vampires, and gambling. That's been the topics this past week. Just a whole bunch of gambling, slots, and vampires. Isn't that right, Ollie? Yeah. What do you need something? My dog has been just a terror recently. Chat, someone in my someone in my chat says you're growing a mullet. Can you spin for the audience, please? That's not a mullet, chat. He's doing fine.
It'd be funnier if it was a mullet.
Are you gonna?
No, I'm closer, but I'm going for like the skullet.
Oh.
You know, I'm balding here.
Sure.
Well, receding hairline there. So eventually, I will definitely be a member of Death Clock.
Wait, what's
excellent?
What's Death Clock? You got to let me in on this.
Sorry, I can't hear you. What?
What's
Metalocalypse, man?
Oh, that's the Metalocalypse band. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were just called Metalocalypse or whatever the fuck it show's name. I can't say it now. Now that I've said it.
Yeah,
once.
Death Clock is the band in Metalocalypse. I can't remember the guy's name who's bald with the long hair, but that's who I'll turn into.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, let us know because they're pretty violent, aren't they? Don't they do a lot of like cult activities? Zeke, are you gonna join a cult? Is that what you're saying? Is this all leading to that?
Is that Pickles?
My brother. It's funny you should mention that. My brother tried to get me.
So wait, your brother tried to get you into crypto and now a cult. What's going on?
No, they're one and the same.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Fair.
No, but he went and did it. He believed in it. Like he went and got his loan.
He got his crypto card.
Something. Yeah.
Okay.
He's doing it up. And he sent me some information about it, and I was like, listen, you've heard what I had to say about this. Nothing I have heard from anybody in my circle of people has told me this is a good idea or anything like that. But listen, if you believe in it, and my brother's not a stupid person, but you know, I've known quite a few smart people who have fallen for, you know, get rich quick stuff.
Yeah. So wait, he took a loan out?
No, yeah, I was gonna say so buying crypto during the drop is a thing. But taking out a loan to do it?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let me just tell you this. Okay.
Okay. All right. You're like outing your brother real. I know he's the biggest fan of the show.
No, I know.
I'm sorry about that, Zeke's brother.
Yeah. Right. He doesn't listen or watch anything I do.
Okay. All right, we're safe.
Good.
But
I wouldn't want the cult coming after us.
Yeah. He has the money to cover the loan. It's just it's invested.
Okay.
He doesn't want to pull the money out of his investments because of the penalty you accrue.
Sure.
You know,
makes sense.
Blah, blah,
absolutely.
Blah. But push comes to shove, he'll be financially fine. It's not going to ruin him or anything.
He could lose all of the money and he'd be okay, right?
Yes, exactly.
Good, because he's going to.
That's the first thing I told him. I was like, listen, this like betting on like this kind of stuff it's not like going to the roulette table and betting on, you know, black or red, right?
Sure.
It's like going to the roulette table and betting on a number.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, the payout could be great. It could be great, but the odds are not good.
Yeah.
You know?
Is your brother interested in slot machine, perhaps online slot machines? Does he need to go to Canada to, you know, partake?
He's not. He's never been a gambler. He's not like me. Like I'm a gambler.
He's not an XQC sub?
No.
And so it begins.
Tell me what this is all about, because I was not.
There's not. It's not. It's not that exciting. It's just really easy to take jabs at. Is all it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
XQC just started. He basically went to Canada because online gambling's banned in all but like 6 states in the U.S. or something, and he's doing some slot machine gamblings that are sponsored. So it's not even really gambling because it's not his money at the end of the day. It's been the talk of Twitch, basically.
The thing that makes it so dramatic is he very publicly took a stand against it. Like there's clips going around, and he was all about, I'd never do gambling, and you know, I have more integrity than that, and blah blah blah. And then like the day before he did a sponsored stream, somebody donated and was like, "Yeah, you're totally going to start doing paid for gambling," and he was like, what? That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
what?
right after he
like, yeah, just like you see him in his face, like just straight up lying to everybody. And then the next day he does like a gambling stream. So it's streamers being streamers, man.
Yeah, it goes to show everyone's got
that's
a
all
number.
it is.
Even XQC's got a number.
Even XQC's got a number. Even the top streamer on Twitch has a number. That's exactly right.
When you say he's not gambling with his money, is he being paid by the casino or his?
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like you never really know, but you kind of know, right? Like,
okay, the largest streamer on Twitch taking a gambling sponsorship, he doesn't have to worry about money numbers anymore.
Well, that's also true.
It's just he's won the money game. Like that's it. Like if he doesn't, it's the bottom. The bank account might as well be bottomless at this point.
Yeah.
Do any of you know how I can get a hold of him at all? Like, there's a way
just hit up Stake. Let him know. Let him know.
Because I tried with DraftKings, but I don't know anything about football, so they didn't want me.
I think these guys. I think Stake is like a bigger DraftKings.
The guy that's been doing it for a lot longer. His name is Train.
Yeah, Train.
And
yeah.
Train gives away hundreds of thousands of dollars for fun. Like some dude was talking about wanting a car on his stream, so he was like, "Yeah, here's like $250K for your car."
Yeah, he gave Jake and Bake a brand new Porsche.
Yeah. So if you're wondering, and he is about what? On his best days, he's about half the size of XQC,
third
or
half. Yeah.
So yeah, it's and don't get me wrong, I'm sure XQC was already making just from everything he's already been doing in subs and everything. He's probably been just fine. So
he stated on stream that prior to all the gambling, he lost $2 million in a week on slots. Or maybe 2 million in 2 weeks or something like that. So he definitely put a lot of money into it.
I need to up my game, man. That makes me feel a lot better about the shit I've lost over. I'm trying to think of what's my worst week of gambling, and it's probably 2,500. I think
it's not too bad. Yeah. I've never done I've never spent real money in gambling because I know that it would grab me, which is the scare, because I don't want to lose it all ultimately. Dude, so I stay the fuck away.
I'm the same way. Don't touch gambling. Don't touch cocaine. You just stay away from that
true
stuff.
addiction. Meth will
stay
fuck
away
you
from
up,
that
man.
Moving from Montana to Colorado was very, very good for that because
sure, yeah.
There's only casinos in certain areas in Colorado.
Yep.
In Billings, Montana, there are Keno and poker machines in every bar. Every single bar has one of those because oftentimes that's what'll keep a bar afloat is if you have gambling machines. And boy, did I enjoy those.
I'm sure. Man, you get alcohol in you, you don't, you just don't care. You just keep throwing it away till you win big. That's how it works.
Another thing, I barely drink anymore.
Also
not
good.
because of any reason. I'm not trying to take a stance. I don't drink because I'm trying to be healthy. No, I don't give a fuck about being healthy.
Yeah,
it's because I don't go out. Neither of me or my partner drink, and there's no gambling nearby. And that's basically it was drinking and gambling for me in the same spot. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the quote.
The voice crack really topped that one out right there.
That's Zeke's poker tell. Funny enough, it's just when his voice goes, "I don't have double aces, no,
my hand,
I turned into Mickey
My
Mouse.
hand is just terrible this round. Oh, it's just horrible."
Yeah.
I wouldn't call me.
Oh Lord. Anyways, that's been the big news, I guess, at least on Twitch, unless there's something else. That and vampires this past week. It's been all the rage. V Rising hit kind of that sweet pre-summer spot where there's nothing out and people have just been jumping to that. Kind of like what Valheim kind of did something similar, didn't it? Didn't it come out in the middle of no man's land for video games and it just blew up? Albeit much larger. I think Valheim was, far and away bigger.
Valheim was huge, but I mean, they announced that V Rising has surpassed 500K.
Yep.
So I mean, it's definitely a wild success.
Mm-hmm. It's doing very well. Which for the studio, given their track record in terms of releasing games and not necessarily finding their audiences, that's cool. There's also the drama of them just leaving games behind because of that as well, but that's a whole Another thing
A
we'll
whole
talk about.
different can of worms.
Yeah, we'll maybe get to that when we discuss some V Rising. We'll start with a little bit of news. What do we? Is it summer? Is E3 now Summer Game Fest? Is that what we're calling it this summer?
Yes.
I've started to try to start the brain. SGF
instead of E3, I call it SGF.
SG. Okay.
I'm trying to completely phase out E3. Like that is no longer a thing. They have killed E3. It is dead. You should not be calling it.
I got to get it out of my vocabulary. I had my rant on stream in one of my JPNNs, and now I'm good. I'm ready to move forward. So, awesome. SGF, as well as a bunch of other stuff. It's June 9th through the 12th, has a bunch of stuff at the moment. It starts with Summer Game Fest on that Thursday. There's the Tribeca Game Spotlight on Friday, the Guerrilla Collective, Wholesome Direct and Feature Game Show on Saturday. And then Sunday is the Xbox and Bethesda Showcase, followed by the PC Gaming Show, hosted by Day 9. So
high hopes for that one.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. PlayStation has not announced anything yet, and Nintendo has not announced anything yet. But we still got, 3 weeks till all of that goes down?
Nintendo's also been doing a lot of like little directs and stuff. They're definitely still plugged in. Even if they don't do anything big for SGF, they're clearly like trying to get their fans stuff they want.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Good for them.
Yep. And they've kind of always been the outliers. Xbox is stuck to the schedule of E3 in the past. And Sony and Nintendo have started, like you said, have done their own things. So we'll see if they come around for that. But we'll let you guys know in terms of what we'll be covering as Drop Frames and what we'll be covering as a group once we actually have that discussion, because we have not yet. Some of those shows are a lot smaller than others. I would imagine the Xbox and PC gaming shows, since we've got Drop Frames on Sunday, we'll probably be covering both of those. And maybe the Summer Game Fest on that Thursday, but I don't know what to expect from that. I don't know if that's going to be as big.
Are you just looking at the summergamefest.com site?
No, Zeke. If you go to jpedia.net and go to the 2022 gaming events tab, you can find all the times and shows, as well as if we'll be covering them. Thanks to my mods who do all the work there, because I don't. I just check in every once in a while.
Oh, fuck. I just clicked on the link in your chat because I thought that's what it was. And I was like, how did you get sponsored by Fortnite? What the fuck is this? Oh,
no, that's the Epic FAQ. Yeah. Jesus. Yeah. You just type in jpedia.net.
Okay. Yeah. jpedia.net. Got it. All right.
There you go. So yeah, that's all coming up. We had some announcements of, I think like the PC Gaming Show and Feature Game Show were announced this past week. I'm sure more will be added to that list as we get closer. We actually had some like announcements this past week. Greedfall 2, one of them. I played a little Greedfall. I didn't get I think I left the tutorial, the first city. Code, you spent some more time with it, I think. I don't know if you finished it. Okay.
Yeah, I beat Greedfall. I have to admit, incredibly unimpressive trailer. It really showed like absolutely nothing. Didn't really show any direction. Didn't really show like much cool things at all. It was very lackluster. I think they definitely could have put a better foot forward.
Yeah,
it was pretty, but nothing about the trailer said anything about like what they're doing differently or what you're going to be doing. Or it was just it was there. It
wasn't even voice work.
It was not very exciting. It was just there.
Yeah. There was no voice work or anything. It's just, does this make sense with where the first game ended? Like, is this a story
sort of. The big thing about the first game is that it was kind of like a man versus nature kind of thing. Like there was like the tribal people who are respecting the land and doing, everything they need to do to keep it happy. And then it was like rebelling against the people that want to build cities and do that kind of thing. So, the premise here is that, I think the premise here is that they're doing it in a new place. Like now they're taking the nature people to the city instead of the people, the city people to the nature. They're kind of flipping the script a little bit, but again, you don't know too much.
Yeah.
It's definitely reminiscent of a slavery situation. Those people are like doing their thing, and then all of a sudden these guys come with guns, and then they're in a cage on a ship somewhere else. So it's probably gonna be. I'm guessing it'll probably play into that, but again, we have no idea because the trailer really didn't show much at all.
Yeah.
Oh, Chad is saying it's a prequel. Oh,
Is that interesting story? I just hate prequels as a
I hate
premise.
prequels.
Great. Okay. Yeah.
No, I loathe prequels.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
Yeah. So.
Man, that's unfortunate.
I guess we'll see. It seems super early in development. Anything can change, I think, with where they're at with all that. There's some other like sequel news. Zeke also has a thing. Zeke?
Oh, I think it might be what you're talking about, the Death Stranding 2 thing.
Yeah. Norman Reedus was in an interview and came out and said that they've started Death Stranding 2. Part 2 is what they're calling it, or at least what he's calling it. This was with a
the actual developer cut.
Yeah. It was with a website called leoedit.com. The interview
Here it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got the book going on. You've got the final season coming out, then the spinoff, and you're filming Death Stranding, the video game.
Yep.
You just started the second one. How did that come about?
Did he just quasi announce it by accident?
Yeah.
It
seems like it. Yeah.
That's good.
I wonder if that's
good. Sure, Kojima is thrilled.
Show I would think that's a SGF announcement, an exclusive or something, and one more thing of having him out on the stage to announce that.
I think the real announcement is that Jeff Keighley's in it.
Well, he's already the first one. So would that be a shock?
He's a reoccurring character.
Oh, okay. All right.
Apparently, Kojima put a tweet out that says, "Go to your private room, my friend," and he has Lucille the bat with the barbed wire around it. Yeah, and it's like 3 pictures, and one of him is like the bat's like poised to hit
nice.
Norman, and Norman's like,
that.
That's great.
Yeah. Whoops.
I don't know what I want from a Death Stranding 2. I mean, a game would be nice just to start with, but like, what else? Like, what do they add to that?
How do they iterate that?
Yeah, I don't.
How do you change that game? You just do another delivery simulator? Like, how do you?
I don't know.
All this talk about
just more of the same
about the game itself. Like,
yeah,
I could not care less about the fucking game. That game was so just not for me. I can't even say bad, right? Without people getting pissed. Like, you don't understand it. It's not bad. You just don't get it.
I think
a lot of people just think it's bad.
I think you could say, like, I don't know that many people that stand Death Stranding. I really don't. It was a bizarre game. We had I think a couple of episodes where we just sat there and were perplexed by what that game was.
Yeah.
And the further you got in it, the more absurd the story got. And then the final 10 minutes, you see some great voice acting and acting in general. You're like, oh, okay, that was cool.
It's still fun. I mean, it's kind of an artsy experience in a lot of ways.
Sure.
Not as much as a game.
Everything about the game was great, except for the game.
Yeah, you're right. It was also absurd. I wish I could find. There's a paragraph that like explains or goes into the idea of one of the subjects that happened later in that game of like carrying I forget her name, the girl from Shameless, I think. Maybe it's not Shameless. And now I've even forgotten the fucking plot line for it. But it's just straight absurdity. I couldn't even think of something as absurd as the game. Like, I would pale in comparison.
Yeah, when you said, like, what could they even do for the sequel? It's like they could do anything.
Yes.
Absolutely anything.
It could be a Mario Brothers game, and I'd be like, well, that makes sense.
Kojima, genius.
That checks out. I remember the boss fight with, what's his name? Mr. Voice actor NFT guy. I hate that that's what I know him by. Troy
Baker.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember that. I remember that
voice
whole
actor
thing.
NFT guy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's quite the black eye he gave himself, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, friend of the show, voice actor.
You saw that he pulled it all back, right?
Oh yeah. He rescinded all of it for sure. Yeah. The damage was done though, as that's what came to my head first off. You're welcome back on the show anytime, Troy. If you want to tell me to go fuck myself, that's fine. Standing invitation to come on the show and tell me to fuck myself. That's fine.
I want them to come out and Kojima to like reveal Death Stranding, and then everybody plays it, and at the end of the game, it's something like it's revealed that all of this takes place inside a butt. Something like that. And like, oh my God, all the clues were there.
Oh man, game of the year. If that's the case, game of the year, right there.
I would actually be impressed.
Yeah,
if they were to pull that off.
That'd be great. that'd be the best spin that Death Stranding 2 could have if it was all taking place in a butt. Really be into that. Final Fantasy VII came out. The director came out and said that next month they might have news, or they will have news, all but confirmed, I guess, of the second one. They're gonna have a second one. That was on purpose, Zeke.
You got me on that one.
I got you. Yeah. So that's a thing. That's a thing. It'll be is it the 25th anniversary? Is that what the question was? Let me verify. I think it is.
What about 16? How are we looking on 16?
That also, Yoshi P has said that they're pretty much good to go on that. They're nearing the end, and that a trailer will be released soon. So I bet we're going to get two trailers at the same time during SGF.
Huge.
Yeah.
That would be huge.
That would be very good. Potentially, like, isn't 16 supposed to come out this year? Isn't that still slated for this year, or have they not said?
I don't know. That'd be great. I don't know when it would be. I guess towards the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, like a summer. Oh, it's the 35th anniversary, not the 25th anniversary. Sorry. God, that's
a long time.
I don't like that. It's the 15th, guys. I just got a memo from off screen. It's the 15th anniversary of Final Fantasy.
That's better. Let's go with that. I like that more. So
Nintendo's a 5-year-old company. They're just getting started in this
scrappy little indie startup, Nintendo.
That's correct. That's correct. So that could be some exciting news, especially if 16 gets announced for the rest of the year, because Lord knows 2022 needs some big games alongside Elden Ring / this fall. What else is there? Fall Guys, if you remember that game, it's going free to play. They're announcing that is going free, I think, in June, as well as going on the Switch. So
I'll tell you this: it was fun to see like all the Twitter assholes come out of the woodwork and be like, "Dead Game can't even get anyone to pay for it anymore. Now they're got to give it away for people to play." It was great. It was great to see.
I didn't see that. What was the Fall Guy Twitter interacting with them or no?
No.
Okay,
it's just like people, for some, I don't know why they hated on that game. Like after it kind of like dipped in numbers or whatever of people playing it.
People hate on water. They don't need a reason.
Dude, it's so boring.
Just get time out of their day to say Dead Game after every fucking tweet they put out.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy to me. Like that requires some effort.
Yeah.
To do that. Like
I saw that on the new League trailer for their new character, new hero, champion, whatever the fuck they call him in that universe. And they were saying Dead Game as well. But
that's the one with the
actually is. So
chick with the purple armor and the shoulder launcher and
with Kaisa. She's the old
badass.
Yeah,
that made me like maybe want to play League.
Yeah, that's hey, if they spent as much time on those trailers as they did on the launcher for that game, the same 10-year-old launcher that existed all the way back when no one played League, maybe it'd be a good game. Now it's just it's soul-sucking app that exists on my PC.
I saw the cutscene and I was like, man, this looks awesome. This like actually legit makes me want to play League of Legends. And then I thought to myself, oh wait, but it's League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
That was that.
Mm-hmm.
That was all she wrote. That was the end of that thought. A little period on the end. That was as far as that went.
Whenever you watch Arcane, I need you to that's got to be your return point, your focus point of like, wait, it's League. I'm not going to download.
That being said, real talk. I am actually legit excited for their MMO. Like I'm actually pumped. And what was it called? Rune King? Not Taken King. That was Destiny, right?
The Rune King.
That was awesome. Yeah, that was a great game. Like that was solid. It was enjoyable.
Hey Rising.
But yeah, I if they can make quality stuff like that in a different type of game, not League of Legends,
Yeah.
I'd be super interested to play it for sure.
Yeah.
It looked really cool. Though, as I was watching, it was just like, how are they gonna like? Why? It's cool to have this kind of lore and backstory, but nothing that's going on in this trailer is ever going to happen in League. Like it's like it's for a different game. It really is kind of wild.
Yeah,
There's never going to be a boss fight versus that person. There's not going to be like her versus them. You know, like you could build an entire single player adventure game around that cutscene.
sure,
The right area,
and they might, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what they're doing? I'm with you though. The whatever that MMO that Ghostcrawler announced via his Twitter, which I'm sure the people at Riot are super happy about, having to just live with the announcement now that they're making an MMO for X amount of years till that thing actually comes out. Yeah, it could be really fun. And they have a giant, they have a giant lot of things. Player base to fill that game with. They have a giant, really universe to pull stories from, characters from, all that stuff.
Giant, huge, just wallet. You can't even fold it.
Yes, they got so much money.
It's so fat that it's like a circle,
and that's what an MMO needs, right? It needs that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it needs just
unlimited
money.
Talk. They've got the infrastructure, which these days we see over and over, like MMOs not being able to handle like a lot of that stuff. Like they've got the infrastructure, they've got the coding. Like they could actually make a really solid, decent MMO that worked well, which would be really fun. That'd be great.
I'd love one.
Someone in my chat just goes, because you paused, they have a giant?
They probably do. It's
They have They have actual giants. Absolutely, they do.
It's in the 10-cent basement.
They move the server rooms.
Yeah,
absolutely.
His name's
Phil.
They have
a guy, nice dude.
Phil the Giant.
Yeah, Phil the Giant.
Yep. Checks out. What else is there? The Take-Two and Zynga merger is going to go through on Monday. That'll be one of the first of many over the next couple of years, I'm sure, with everything else in development. There's also the rumor, what was it, that NBC Universal, and it wasn't a rumor, I think it was all but confirmed.
Yeah, it was confirmed pretty much.
Yeah, who was it? NBC Universal and EA. That's what it was. We're going to merge together.
But it fell through.
Yeah, and it fell through. Yeah, about, I think a week ago is what I remember reading, or maybe a month ago is when all that fell through. But that would be a weird one. I don't know. NBC.
Not only would that be weird, but it does just go to show you like what's going on behind closed doors that you never hear about, and how those types of giant monolithic deals are like, you know, just happening all the time. Talks like that are all the time happening in the back end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Didn't Phil come out and say some stuff about like one of the reasons they picked up Activision is because, and I have to remember, I don't know if this was a quote from Phil or some kind of industry musing, but something about like Phil and them, one of the reasons they wanted to get Activision was because they didn't want like a Facebook or a company like that scooping it up and kind of like entering the gaming sphere.
I didn't know that.
I'll have to look into that again.
Yeah,
I remember reading it, but I don't know if it's like from him or just someone conjecturing.
Yeah, it sounds like something that makes business sense, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Because I could totally see Facebook trying to buy their way in. They tried with the VR stuff. They actually have a pretty good grasp, I think. Not grasp, but stranglehold on kind of VR. Oculus has become the VR platform in a lot of ways, unfortunately, for new games.
I think they're scaling back their department, actually.
Yeah?
I remember seeing something. I remember reading something about that.
In a lot of ways, it's still the top of the VR world. There's not very many people making VR games apart from them and PlayStation and a lot of indie jank that exist in that realm, unfortunately. Speaking of VR, did you guys see this Resident Evil 8 VR mod? It's a fan mod. It's apparently really good. Let me show you some gameplay of this thing. It looks kind of crazy. Yeah.
VR is so like it's so up and down. Like it's in bursts. You know, it's like back when it first was a thing. It was like VR. And it was like retry the VR again.
Yeah. It's kind of like any fad, really. When you think about any like hardware fad, like motion controls.
Yeah.
Kind of in the same realm. There was like the Kinect situation that was kind of in the same realm. But this doesn't look too terrible. Let me skip ahead so you guys can see proper gameplay. Here you go.
Oh, dude. That could be great.
It looks fairly well done.
It's on PC?
Yeah, I would assume so. It's a fan mod, so I don't think they could do that on the consoles. There's a little bit of like character clipping.
Huh.
Oh, so you'd have to like all the commands and stuff are done automatically. You don't actually like pull open drawers or anything.
Right. Yeah. I think that's all canned animations that the main game used.
The world needs more Alex.
Yeah. Or Alex equivalent. And there's a bunch of mod stuff around Alex as well, I think, that they're doing / has been done.
Oh, the level with the baby in VR. Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no.
That could be a lot.
Be great.
Yeah.
Oh. No.
I think it's just, in my opinion, VR is not going to take any sort of widespread like longevity, I guess, until it's just a simple matter of having like the VR be a console like system and then having wireless just glasses.
Oh, and it just puts you on some Star Trek.
That's essentially what Meta's trying to do with the Quest.
Yeah.
Like everything's self-contained. It all just works out of the box. You don't need sensors and stuff. I don't think you need sensors for it.
I don't think so.
Yeah. Like they're trying to get it that direction, making it cheap enough where more people can afford it. But
yeah.
We'll see, man.
Hopefully. To me, the still today, the big VR draw, the big VR experience that I think has the most people just playing it every single day is VR chat. Like that community is huge. It's a little absurd. It's a little fringe. But it's also the biggest, like it's the biggest draw. The people that exist on Twitch that live in that world every single day, find hours and hours and hours and hours of content to just exist. So it kind of already happens. But all those people like Zeke, you were saying, they're all wired in. They all have like multiple sensors, both on their body and in their room to facilitate everything. So the tech is still in its infancy. So yeah, anyways, that's Resident Evil 8 VR mod, a fan mod. There's the big scene of the opening of that. If you want to watch that, it's actually about a 40-minute video if you're at all curious or wanting to dive in after seeing that. It's on the Upload VR YouTube channel for that. You guys remember that Roller Champions trailer that we slept through a couple of E3s ago at a Ubisoft conference? Where there was, you don't even remember that, do you?
No, I do. I remember being like, oh, this might be kind of fun. Are you about to say it's like the biggest game in Europe or something?
No, it's not dead. That's what I'm about to say. They're coming out and it's going into a video game. You can play it this summer, I believe, is when it comes out. I thought this was completely dead. They did like that live beta right after it got announced for maybe that weekend of E3. And it had pretty good reception from most people that touched it, but I didn't think a lot of people played it. So I guess they went back and they kept working on it, and now it's coming out. It's got a season pass. It's got all the free-to-play things you would expect. May 25th, 3 days from now is when it kicks off. Roller Champions, a Ubisoft original. It's got ranked mode and everything. Like it's fully all the bells and whistles of a free-to-play competitive thing. We'll see if it takes off.
Or
I would expect
if it pulls a Lawbreakers.
Yeah. True. Well, I haven't heard of any sponsored stream for this yet, so we'll see if they're gonna. I would expect this to be on some streams this week.
Oh yeah,
if it's launching.
Probably competitive streams, Rocket League kind of streams.
Totally.
I was just gonna say that. I think the world is ready. Like. But I think the playing or the public is ready for another Rocket League, a different Rocket League. And more power to them if they can make this that, because we all know how Rocket League did.
Yeah, And Rocket League's still pretty big. Like they actually had they had a competitive event a month or so ago. It had pretty good viewership on Twitch. I think a lot of people are still playing that game almost every single day. It was a lot of fun to watch. I mean, that game is a ton of fun to watch, especially when you get people that are really good at it, not just idiots like we were when we played it years back.
Oh, complete idiots.
Yeah, just awful at the game. These people
Terrible.
are flat. It's like they have jetpacks on their cars because they never touch the ground in the competitive scene. It's absolutely insane if you've never seen that stuff. Yeah, someone in my chat says the Rocket League Twitch channel regularly has 50,000 viewers on it. So apparently there's a tournament right now. Didn't even know.
Wow. I am out of touch.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's impossible. There's too much on Twitch to keep up. So
fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, that's 3 days from now. If you're at all curious, Enroller Champions from Ubisoft. ARMA.
Good luck to those devs.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. ARMA 4/Reforger got announced and released, which is kind of a weird thing. Reforger is like their tech demo for the ARMA 4 engine, and it's playable now. And then ARMA 4 is what they're working on. I think I saw the Late Shift crew. The Late Shift crew, that's what they're called. The Late Shift guys playing this. It looks like an ARMA game. Like we were talking about it on my stream. Bohemia's kind of gotten a weird. If you think about everything that has happened within their games that has then spawned off to the rest of the industry, you had Battle Royale games. It all started in ARMA. You had RP games, which all started in ARMA and then sped off to, GTA. And then there was one more. What was it? RP games, BR games, and something else all started. Oh, and DayZ, like survival games. The original kind of started there. And none of that is really. Bohemia's never really reaped the benefits of any of that except for probably DayZ.
Always the bridesmaid.
Yeah. Yeah. They never really saw, the returns from the GTA and the Battlegrounds world. I think DayZ does pretty well still. I don't know like how many people are actively playing that game, but this is a thing if you want to play it. It looks like better looking ARMA.
You put that on the fucking box, dude.
What?
This is a thing. You should play it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think our audience, at least the three of us, are not the type to get excited about a new ARMA game. It's
right,
a little bit different from what we're used to. But I was watching Max and Burke play it. Seemed fine. Seemed absolutely fine. There was a couple times where bugs would happen. Max would be one place on his screen, and on Burke's screen, he would be like, quarter of a mile down the road doing the same actions. And Max would just have low FPS drops out of nowhere, which it's the ARMA experience in a lot of ways. The engine's always been a little bit rough in the past, in my experience. So that was out. Card games. How we feel about them? You guys into them?
I love them.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of deck builder games.
What about competitive card games, Zeke? How do you feel about that?
I was a Magic head for a long time.
Like Hearthstone, Magic.
Oh,
yeah. I played those. Is there a new one?
What about a Marvel card game that's competitive, Zeke? How does that sound to you?
Sounds terrible.
It sounds terrible.
And you had me. You got me, man. You had me going. And then I have to deal with Marvel fanboys. Like,
to the person in chat,
me excluded, of course.
I had someone in my chat say, like, "Are you guys going to talk about Marvel Snap? I really am looking forward to your discussion." I said, "Here's how it's going to go. Co's not going to say anything. Zeke's going to be on board until I mention Marvel, and I'll be like, yeah, it looks good." I nailed it. I absolutely nailed it. This is their game that they announced, Marvel Snap. It's got Ben Brodett, who was the game director of Hearthstone back when that debuted, and for the 3 or 4 years. But this is what he's been working on with his team. I'll cut to the gameplay so you guys can see a little bit of that.
Hold on.
Just so I can say something during this segment.
Okay.
No, to answer chat, it's not a wig.
There you go. It's a toupee.
It's a hair beanie.
Oh. Okay. All right.
So that was just a trailer
Please
I
continue.
was getting excited about, but I do like the comic book. Like, I love Guardians of the Galaxy. The game was awesome. Don't get me wrong, but I like this
animation stuff.
What am I thinking of? Like they went back to the comic-y looking style of it, and I'm all about that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So what they're saying right there is every card is going to have multiple. This is how they're going to make the money. Every card's going to have multiple art styles that you can get, and so there's 150-ish cards, and I think every card will have multiple variants. So then you can collect all the variants of the entire set. That's how they're going to make their money off that. Which
sounds like it.
Yeah, kind of an interesting way to handle that, I suppose.
Okay. I was like, please don't say NFT. Please don't say NFT.
Oh no. Yeah, there was no NFT discussion in this entire thing. They said games are going to be about 3 minutes long. You play at the same time as your opponent, so there's no waiting like you have in Hearthstone or any of the other competitive games. There's a way to like bluff in the sense of you can double down on the game if you think you're going to win or you just want to bluff your opponent. And then they can either challenge that or they can retreat out of the game. It's got some interesting mechanics in it. I'm kind of eager to see a little bit more of it. They've had some show matches on their Twitch channel since this was announced on Thursday or Friday. We'll see. I just because the Marvel name's attached to this, I think it's going to make $1 billion fucking dollars. And the fact that it's a mobile game, they're planning a PC client for it, but the art looks really cool. I think that's what Zeke's reacting to right now.
Dude, they took like directly like Weapon X shit from Weapon X, you know, like that's awesome. Like,
yeah,
comic booky shit is really appealing to me.
This is Zeke. They got some dubstep going on in this game, so if you want some dubstep,
I'm not against dubstep.
Dubstep just makes me feel old.
It's not like too, like ultra dubby. Like, I don't mind a little dubstep. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm just fine with dubstep in games as long as it's done by a guy with a mohawk. In that case, I think I think it's okay.
Okay. That makes sense. So yeah, that's a full thing. That was a big announcement.
I want to check
that out. Yeah, you can sign up for it. I think it's Android only at the moment. They don't have anything on iOS, and the PC client is not something they're gonna launch with initially. But we'll see. It looks all right. I'm obviously biased because of the Marvel brand attached to it. I also think Ben Brode is the head of the company working on it, who also is the Hearthstone guy. I think he's a really cool guy. I think he's done some good stuff. I think Hearthstone was a wild success, partially because of him. So curious to see where this goes, but I can already tell you it's going to make $1 billion just right out of the gate. Even if the game's not that great, people are going to do exactly what Zeke did and said, and like, man, that art looks pretty good. How much does a pack of cards cost? What's that look like? And then they're just going to buy in. We'll see what happens with it. What else is there?
Someone mentioned this. I don't know. I'd never heard anything about it, but have you guys heard of Throne and Liberty, whatever that is?
What's that?
It's a new MMO from NCSoft, I think.
Okay.
Nothing? Okay.
No. I'm looking at, there was a trailer for it about a month ago.
Yeah.
Is this a, let's see. I'm just looking to see if there's anything about it. Here's the trailer for it. I guess it's just another MMO. I feel like this is the state of MMOs. They get announced and like, you don't even know.
No, I'm just taking, I just put in my chat, hey, any news you guys want to think that's worth talking about? And someone said Throne and Liberty. And I was like, okay, I'll ask the fellas.
Yeah. Someone in my chat says it's Lineage 3, but in third person. Lineage, obviously a massive name in the MMO world. Maybe outside of the US, but also in some parts of the US to a lot of people. It looks like an NC Soft MMO is what I'm getting from this. Yeah. I think that's kind of it for me in terms of big news. Techland came out and said they're developing a AAA open world fantasy action RPG with the former CD Projekt Red staff. Cody, do you have any or know any more information about that or thoughts on that?
I heard the same thing. I think it's great. I really enjoyed Dying Light 2 until I got to the end. I think that, if they have the time and resources to actually flesh something out, that it could be really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hope it will be. I'm here for it.
Yeah, there was a decent amount of just blips from the Embracer Group. Did some financial reports. They're working on a ton of first party AAA stuff.
They mentioned the cool thing from Embracer Group is they did say that they bought the IPs that they bought, and they're totally considering doing remakes and continuing franchises and stuff like that. So obviously, I squealed like a schoolgirl.
Well, they name checked Deus Ex. Yeah, they name checked Deus Ex, and they name checked Legacy of Kain.
Legacy of Kain,
which that could be really cool depending on what they do with that.
Huge.
So that'd be very exciting.
Some good stuff there.
Yeah, a lot of fan favorites in those IP.
When I actually just Googled gaming news. The first story that pops up, this shows what kind of a week it's been. It's kind of a slow week. It's first story I see: home worker gets verbal warning for gaming on break despite switching to their own PC. Wow, that's a fucking headline, PC gamer. Wow, slow week, real slow
week.
Yeah, that's feeding into the anti-work thing on the internet. That's what that is. They're looking for clicks, surfing for those clicks.
Mm-hmm. PC Gamer's been pretty bad about that for the last year or two.
Yeah. Trying to get that SEO.
Now, what PC Gamer is that like a trusted, more trusted than usual site?
PC Gamer tends to have some good stories every so often. I mean, they used to be a magazine.
Yeah,
the magazine was pretty cool. I was a PC Gamer reader. That was pretty good.
Hell yeah, demo.
But the website, especially over the last couple of years, has become incredibly clickbaity. They write really divisive articles that have no bearing, just so people will click on them and get mad at them. They've written just some straight dumb things, just not intelligent, basically just to make people mad kind of stuff. So they're not the PC Gamer that ran the magazine, that's for sure. They're definitely they have a lot more flair for the dramatic, but every so often they do have just straight solid good coverage like they used to.
That's actually a question that I think might be worth asking and worth discussing is there a few sites that people go to that now that's a good gaming site. That's a good site.
It depends what type of coverage you want, I think.
Right. Okay.
I'm gonna be real, man. I have really shifted away from any type of organizational stuff. And I am much more about specific people. It's one of the reasons that I've shifted, reviews, especially in the last decade or so, have completely gone downhill, especially review sites. I almost never put any stock in any reviews off a major website. What I do, and I have found very much doing is YouTubers. There's now, I have a pretty firm handful of YouTubers where it's if a game comes out, I'm I wonder what that person thinks of it. I wonder what that person thinks of it. And that tends to be a huge amount better than having to rely on the kind of faceless organizations where different reviewers do different things. A lot of times a reviewer may not even like the genre they're reviewing. It's just there's a lot of really bad reviews out there these days.
So the ones I'm seeing, that I've seen a few times, are Eurogamer.
Yep.
I've seen that a few times across all three chats. Rock Paper Shotgun.
Yep.
I've seen that a few times across all three chats. And what was it? Skill Up?
Skill Up, he's a YouTuber.
Skill Up is a good guy. ACG is a good guy.
Yeah.
There's definitely some YouTubers that just do
reviews,
deep dives into games. They don't just tell you what it is, but they'll kind of lay it all out, and then they'll give their opinion, but at the same time they'll give you all the tools to make your own opinion too, which is the big thing. Because a lot of times, especially big story reviews will give you how the game is through their lens. So you don't really get a good interpretation of if you like it. You just get a really good description, hopefully, if they like it. And that's really although it's arguably a form of literature, I feel like it's not the best.
Yeah. Right. And I completely understand, because if you're going to a YouTube channel, it's usually one, maybe two people. Oh, did we?
Yeah, that was fine. Audio was fine, but we blipped.
Oh, okay. You go to a YouTube channel, you get like maybe 1 or 2 opinions, right? Usually just one, and that way it's not like watered down by a company. But that's why I'm saying, like, with Rock Paper Shotgun or Eurogamer, like people were saying, like that's a group of people that has to go through like an approval process, I'd imagine.
Sure.
And yeah, and it's going to be a little bit more watered down, a little bit cleaned up, whatever you want to say, edited. So I see you're right. The difference in them, for sure.
Right. Yeah. For me, just like raw news, not necessarily reviews. GameIndustry.biz is pretty up to date. They're pretty good. Video Game Chronicle has a lot of up to date stuff. It's kind of fast paced. I think it's either Gamatsu or Jamatsu. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it. They have pretty good coverage. But with like proper reviews and stuff, I'll look at like Metacritic. I'll look at that number and then be like, let's go find some video reviews from some content creators, and then I'll go and watch that. Yeah.
I kind of, and I don't know if you can do this. I remember looking a long time ago and you couldn't, but I wish with Metacritic you could like select a handful of reviewers and then get that average Metacritic score. Yeah, like you could say like you could get a list of YouTubers and be like, I watch those guys that give scores. Like, what's their average score for games, and then like sort games by that, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
The only good sometimes that stuff can cause is like if a game just comes out and all the big names got time with it before it came out. It's sometimes interesting to see what the scores are across the board. Sometimes they're dead wrong. Like sometimes even that is dead wrong. But if a game comes out and like not a single major company gave it above a 6, that's at times you can be like, yeah, it's a red flag. It's a red flag. It doesn't mean you shouldn't try it, but it's one of those like, at the same time, if they give it all 10s, we are finding out more and more that doesn't mean a damn thing.
Mm-hmm. And happened with
like mixed Steam reviews,
like the last big one.
Yeah.
And I still
check the reviews, and I'll look and see like depending on the reviews, like sometimes they'll say like the game's too hard, like that doesn't deserve a negative for that.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
But it's funny that you say that. I still to this day think that hurt Deathloop more than it helped.
I agree. I think the
fact, it set up expectations, and then it got really eaten publicly in a lot of ways. I think that if it would have gotten the 8s that it deserved across the board, I think people would have been like, yeah, cool. Another decent arcane offering. But instead they went in, well, there's no way this is the best game since Slice. This is not a 10. Like, what is that? What is it? Yeah, sure, it's okay, but it's not a 10. Let's talk about that. And it's just like, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and just a quick correction.
It was great.
Quick correction, JP. It is pronounced Gamatsu. Okay. Gamatsu is peanut butter.
It's peanut butter? You got to explain the joke.
GIF.
I don't think it's
right.
Okay. Okay. All right. I got it.
Wow.
Okay.
Sorry. I thought it was going to be less of a leap than that. My bad.
You got it. My brain didn't make coffee's still not kicked in yet, is what I'll blame.
Still stung a little.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Still stung a little. Yeah.
It was you had to reach. Yeah. It was a leap in logic for sure.
It's kind of funny we're talking about this past week. The Saber CEO, which is a part of the Embracer Group, came out and said, in regards to the Evil Dead selling 500,000 units.
Yeah, dude. My God.
He said that the Saber team is pleasantly surprised by the scores to date, which have exceeded the team's internal targets. The other thing is that we've learned is that the days of Metacritic score determining how well a game sells are long gone. Games these days are sold by social media, by influencers, and by buzz. They're sold by the quality of the product itself, irrespective of how well the game performs. I can name games that scored 8 and 9s that I can tell you publishers wished they never released. It's nice to put a plaque. I love this quote, by the way. It's nice to put a plaque on your wall, but if you can't afford the nail to hang the plaque, what's the point? Kind of a dig there from the Saber studio, but
damn, dude.
Yeah, kind of interesting.
Right to the point.
Yeah. But yeah, Zeke, I think you started to see the shift. All the sites that you mentioned from chat they are individually, like the people that review at those websites are individuals rather than the IGN score. It's the so-and-so from X website score.
Okay.
And so that's kind of become there's been a shift, and it's really not, it probably 5 or 10 years now since that shift happened. But as creators started to, pull away from their views and their website hits, you started to see a lot of the mainstream sites start to go that way as well. Because they realized what the internet and what their audiences were leaving for. And so they tried to make it their brand as well in terms of the reviews and all that.
Do you think it's better if, like, how, like, they have the box quotes, right? Like, this game is awesome, rock, paper, shotgun. Like, do you think they're more starting to go towards individual, like, YouTubers and shit like that for their box quotes? Or, like, do they still think, is it still like IGN gives this blah, blah, blah,
I think it's still IGN. IGN is a bigger name than most creators that I can think of off the top of my head.
The
brand recognition is crazy. And, we're, like it or not, a very niche audience. The majority of people that are outside of video games or casual people that just, play a video game every once in a while, IGN is still that number one, most likely SEO search that comes up. They go and check out the review or read the news article at IGN, and that's it. They don't really go anywhere else because they have such a stranglehold on, like, SEO. I think GameSpot also has a pretty big tendril of SEO on the internet, and so it kind of takes everything else and brings it to it. I think, don't they own videogames.com still? Yeah. Oh no, videogames.com redirects to Giant Bomb. That's hilarious. So that's pretty good.
You're saying SEO, what is that, Ian?
Search engine optimization. So if you go if you just go to Google and type video games,
right,
the number one thing that comes up is a story at Video Games Chronicle, Bloody Disgusting, Eurogamer. It takes you to the first search is video game on Wikipedia. Second is GameSpot.com. Third is PC Mag. Amazon is fifth. Target is sixth. IGN's really not in here. That's surprising. I figured they'd be front and center for that.
Gaming news is what I googled before. First is PC Gamer, Gamer Rant, and then Kotaku.
Yeah,
Kotaku
still gets a ton of hits.
Verge. Oh yeah, they're the
they're the clickbait
the
gods.
Drama bomb. They're the clickbaits.
Them and Polygon get all the clickbait stuff. Yeah, for sure.
A little dash of Exerto these days too.
I like Kotaku for that. Like, it's like being at the grocery store and seeing those tabloids, like, right there. That's what Kotaku is to me. It's like, oh, Bat Boy makes a return. Oh man, I love when they do those stories. Like, that's Kotaku for me. It's like, oh man, those clickbait headlines are so great. I love it.
Yeah, a lot of I think a handful. I don't know how many exactly, but a lot of names that I saw that used to write at Kotaku are now writing at different sites, like Washington Post, I think, stole Nathan Grayson. He's covered a little bit of the Twitch world before. I think he's over there with Gene Park, and Bloomberg is definitely taken. And that Schreier, that where Schreier's at? Jason Schreier, I think, is Bloomberg. Yeah, they break a lot of stuff. So more like mainstream news, normal news outside of the game industry is trying to capture all that stuff as well. And Schreier breaks most stories these days.
He's got a lot of inside contacts.
Yeah. Him and Jeff Grubb are names that I see. Jeff Grubb's at Giant Bomb, and I think maybe Video Game Chronicle is where he's also writing a lot. They both break a ton of news every week or have rumors about stuff. But Schreier's got all the lawsuit stuff. He handles all that. Anytime Blizzard does something that is newsworthy or lawsuit worthy, he's the first person to break it and has inside quotes from people internally and all that. Emails that he had the recent story with Jim Ryan at PlayStation regarding them not talking about or having a say on the abortion rights in America. That conversation, that was all Schreier and Bloomberg that broke that. So he's got like trust within the video game world, the video game dev world, I should say.
And he never does anything with his sources.
Yep.
His sources are always protected.
Yep.
Samo4R from your chat said, he's legit one of the only investigative journalists in gaming nowadays doing serious work. Would you agree with that? Would that be?
I would, yeah. I don't know if that's me or Co, but I definitely would agree with that.
Yeah, both of you.
He does a lot of solid work. I mean, love him or hate him, he does his best, and he does a lot of work. Yeah. I know, dude. Some people are not fans at all.
Oh, people fucking hate him. Yeah,
yeah. He's got a lot of opinions a lot of times that people aren't thrilled about. But I mean, he does his best, and he's clearly got a lot of good contacts, and he breaks stuff all the time. He continually breaks news all the time. So,
well, you can love or hate someone based on their opinion. That's fine, but would you say he's trustworthy? Like that, he tells the truth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Dude. He consistently breaks things that turn out to be true, and very rare. I can't think of a single case where he has said something big or bombshell breaking and it has not actually happened or been reported at a later time.
Yeah.
I think that would be news if he were to do that, because people would stop breaking stuff to him if that kind of shit happens. So
yeah. I agree. I think Patrick Klepek also at Vice does a lot of good long form stories, and he'll get a scoop every once in a while. His nickname is actually Scoops, funny enough, because he's definitely broken some big stuff back in the day. But the other little bit of news here, then we can start talking about a break.
Oh wait, sorry. Before we move on to that, did either of you play the Evil Dead game?
I did not. I watched a little bit of it, but I did not play it.
God, I didn't play it either. Damn it.
Did you play it, Co?
I did not. No, I'm in the same boat. I watched a little bit of it, and I think I tuned in. I think it was Bikeman who was playing it. And I drop in, and the first thing I see is a car coming straight at him, and then the car hits something and goes up a little bit, and then the next frame, the car is upside down in front of him, and then it disappears, and he looks behind him, and it's tumbling away, and he goes, "Yep, that's an A+." And then my kid started screaming or something. So
there you go.
That was my small experience in the game. I heard it was okay.
Same.
I heard it was fine. I heard that Evil Dead fans love the Evil Dead aesthetic, and of course they got the main Evil Dead dude. Bruce Campbell. They got Bruce Campbell as in a part of it. He's in the game. He's been promoting it.
He's got four characters in the game, which is hilarious.
Yeah. That's been huge. I think if you're fine, if you were an early Dead by Daylight player back when it was super janky and you could still find good fun in that, I think you'll have a fine time in Evil Dead.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say it's a 1v4 game, right? Yeah.
I don't know. Is it 1v4? I think it's 4.
I think it's 1v4. I think there's one baddie and 4 goodies, but I could be completely wrong.
Chat. It's 1v4. Okay, they're saying 1v4. You're right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I didn't even know that part of it. Bike. The only thing I saw, Bike. He was in my chat. I was asking him about it earlier this week. He said that it's fairly figured out in some cases, and so there's a lot of redundancy in how the games play out, and so that it'll get stale very fast, I think is what he was saying. Which par for the course, I think, for kind of that whole Friday the 13th, honestly, Evil Dead, that whole I was gonna stuff. Say, they start to RP at some point is where the game goes usually on Twitch.
Dead by Daylight has figured it out. I mean, the Dead by Daylight still has a large viewership on Twitch. There are Dead by Daylight streamers.
Oh yeah,
that's what they stream is Dead by Daylight. So, I mean, in terms of longevity, it's going to be interesting to see which one kind of catches up with that. I don't know if it's going to be Evil Dead, but it's certainly there. The potential is there if they can do it right.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the reason why I didn't go into it, because I played Dead by Daylight very, very short amount of time years ago. Same with Friday the 13th. I played a little bit of it, and then I just got I was just okay. I just didn't have any desire to play anymore.
Yeah. Dead by Daylight had some news this past week. I don't know, Zeke, this might interest you. I'm just gonna let the trailer play out here. You don't need the audio. It's exactly what you need to see. This is a real product made made by the Dead by Daylight folk.
Oh my god, okay.
It's a dating sim.
That's awesome.
with all the characters. I think all the original characters. They don't have the license for the other stuff yet.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Because they have like some of the IP that they have in that game is wild.
It's nuts.
Yeah, they have so many huge
Hooked on you.
Scary
well-known scary things.
Scary things, yeah.
No, the first thing
the Ringu girls in there, I think.
The first thing I saw, I was like, wait, Puri prisoner? Like I just saw like the muscly and the stripes. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh no, different person.
And then I'm surprised to see this is the first news that we've seen of this in a long time, but God of War Ragnarok had an update. Okay. And I didn't realize this. I guess this came out on Global Accessibility Awareness Day on May the 19th. Because they came out and detailed all of their new and returning accessibility options for the new God of War game, still slated to release this year, God of War Ragnarok. And it goes pretty in depth in everything that they are including over on the PlayStation blog. So,
do you have a time for that yet?
No, I'm hoping we get to see that during SGF week later this summer. But Sony might also just keep it for their own thing sometime this summer. They might not give that to Jeff. That's like their big thing this year. So they might try to capitalize on the news themselves. I guess that and Horizon. I keep forgetting that Horizon came out this year.
Or Horizon,
just like a lot of people do.
Or Horizon,
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I wanted you guys already talked about it. You guys already played in this stuff. I'm still in the middle playing it, so I want to talk about it. But,
you're still. Did you beat the arena matches? Did you finish those?
I got one left, and it's a real bitch.
Wait, did you end up beating all the other ones?
7.5 minute bitch, like trying to beat that shit. I beat everything. I got the last one to go, and it's a real fucker because on very hard, there's a couple of attacks that the creatures do that are just pretty much one shot. Like if you have any amount of health like missing, you're dead. You're immediately dead, and it just sucks because
all of them.
I got all the underneath the time limit. Yeah. On all of
for the gold,
all the
like not just the bronze, the actual gold. Oh my god!
No, you're thinking of the trials. This is the arena.
Oh, okay.
Different thing.
Okay.
The arena is only timed. Like it only has like a time limit, and if you get under the time limit, you get the medals. If you get over it, you don't. Yeah. Cool. Different thing. But it's a real pain in the ass, and doesn't help that like the combat and controls and the camera and stuff like that is just not. Everything is set against you. It just sucks. Like Katie was asking me, like, "Hey, why do you keep playing that game? All it does is piss you off." And I'm like, "No, that's not true. There's 5% of the game that pisses me off so much that it kind of overshadows how much enjoyment I'm having with the other 95% of the game. Also, the 5% of the game has taken up 25% of the time spent playing it because it's such goddamn bullshit that you just die over and over again." But anyways, yeah, so that's I wanted someone to complain to. And
did you finish the story content of the game yet or no?
Not yet. I'm almost there. I'm almost at like I've reached max level and stuff like that, and it feels like I've got like 3 or 4 more like main storylines to get, and I'd be done.
How far west have you gotten?
All the way.
Did you get to the forbidden part?
Yeah, the forbidden part.
Did get to the
man that the forest is real pretty. Probably the prettiest thing I've seen in a video game in a long fucking time. If that mist is there, that's real pretty. That's still, I think about that more than anything from that game. Is just that entire little area there in the northwest section of the map. It's gorgeous. I cannot wait for that game to hopefully come to the PC here in the next year or two to really see what that can look like at like 4K 60, everything cranked up. It's going to be it already is jaw dropping.
And for those of you asking, yes, the arena matches are in fact optional, but I 100% of the first Horizon.
Not for real gamers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to do like all the stuff in the game because, like I said, 95% of the game is fucking wonderful. It's awesome. It has some probably the best facial, emotional, whatever coding. It's amazing. Like what they do with like sometimes it's a little jank. Like they'll be looking up here, like over here, or something like that. But most of the time, it's very, very well done. Probably the best I've seen as far as like just giving you an expression to let you know how the character's feeling. Like that is phenomenally good.
Top 10 nonverbal communication.
Oh yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah,
amazing,
absolutely. Yeah. But there's some stuff that I don't remember being as bad in the first game. Like the climbing is not as good or fun.
Yeah, you mentioned that when we talked about it last time. I didn't mind it all that much. Do you have like specific instances of what it was that was upsetting you? Just like getting around with the climbing?
Going in like the direction you want to go. And like there's been lots of times where I'm like, all right, I am pushing the stick to go there. And she'll go like, I'm going to go over this way. I'm like, no, I did not go that way.
So the animations are kind of long and weighted is your issue?
Yeah.
With like
the other thing that I absolutely hate about this is you'll be fighting, say, a Thunderjaw. You're like, all right, I'm going to keep shooting. I'm going to stop right here. And I'm just.
Yeah.
And the camera
focuses
is
on
behind the thing.
Yeah.
So you're like, why am I not shooting? And you're like, you turn the camera and like, oh, because I'm attached to this fucking little rock, this little tiny boulder here. And I guess I'm trying to fucking blend in like a chameleon or something. Like,
this is my boulder now.
That I hate.
I live here.
Sure. No, that would get frustrating. I would agree with
in the middle of a big long battle, you just attach to the wall.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, man. Give me a
the best is when that kills you.
Time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You grab that little wall and then that gives the enemy just enough time to charge you or do something and then knocks you right off and you got to deal with that animation. Yeah, it happened many times.
Yeah. Yeah, when you finish that game, Zeke, maybe we'll discuss because we haven't discussed the ending as a group yet. Yeah. And there's it'd be a fun discussion point. So let me know when you finish it. It's dog time. We got like 7 minutes to a break.
What's the break? Yeah.
I could that Halo finale came out.
How was did it
JP's Halo spoilers. Let's go.
You guys ever see Doom with The Rock?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you remember when they did the first person thing?
No.
They do a first person thing. About 2 times. It's probably maybe a minute or 2 in total. Is real bad. I was not a fan. I was not a fan at all.
Oh man.
I did not. I did not like it at all.
Meanwhile, I can just imagine whatever the director is like, here you go, gamers. Happy? Look, it's like you're home. Are you too good for your home?
Man, I'd have to put the spoiler tags up to, I guess, say what I want to say. Episode 8 is the episode from last week. Worst episode in the entire fucking show. Episode 7, most pointless episode in the entire show because you never see any of the characters from that entire episode ever again for the rest of the season. They just, that story's done. Who knows what happened to him? And then episode 9, it's like, can you put your fucking stupid helmets on, you idiots? Like, every time something bad happens, it's because they're not wearing, like, John Halo's running around outside of his armor 80% of the fucking episode. He gets hurt because he's outside of his armor.
Actors to not see their face.
Okay? I know. That's the issue. That's the whole issue is we want our actors to be able to, be connectable. You gotta really, they gotta make their money. It's all their face. Like, no, man. Just Put your fucking helmet on, Master Chief. Stop calling him John. I'll say this. I'm going to put up the spoiler tags on the other thing. I'll say this real quick. The final 10 minutes of the episode, we actually got the Master Chief we've always wanted.
That's good.
You say 10 seconds or 10 minutes?
Worth
10 minutes.
Was it worth getting there? Like, was it no. actually really good? No, okay.
No. The fight scenes are okay, but like you finally get it. And the way that you get the Master Chief you wanted is because he doesn't talk. He puts his helmet on and he's Master Chief in the sense of they don't talk. Like they're not verbose. They're not. It's very. He's goal oriented. He's badass. He becomes like the master, the highest ranked person in multiplayer that you all fear, with like dual wielding guns and just like obliterating a shit ton of Covenant, the way that you expect a Master Chief to do. And people ask him a question and he just looks at them and then goes back to doing whatever he's doing. He doesn't give a fucking answer.
They could have made the whole show like that and it would have been fine.
Story-wise, I'm leaving out a very important fact of why that's the case. They couldn't because I guess they had to build up to that. But hey, season 2, maybe he won't talk for the entire season, or at least say things very quickly and to the point. But yeah, it's a build-up process. So, did I like the series as a whole? It had some cool moments. You got to see episode 9 has like it has a big fight happen basically, and Spartans are doing Spartan shit. They're, running like superheroes. They're doing everything you would expect a Spartan to do in like a group of Spartans. And it's really fucking cool just seeing them fight. Story-wise, I could care less. I just want to see more Spartans fighting with like decently high budget stuff. But they've kind of set up a lot for season 2. So we'll see what that looks like. It's already confirmed they're already going to be making it. So it's coming out regardless of if you like the show or not. And maybe they'll take some of that feedback that they got and just write characters off to start off with in season 2. So like, oh yeah, they died off screen. Who knows? Plasma grenade got them or something. You did get to see a grunt, multiple grunts in the final episode. It was kind of cool. And
they have the voice.
Kinda. They do a drop, like an ODST drop, basically. And they're falling. They do the superhero landing literally on top of a grunt. Like he just kind of explodes. It's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. There's a handful of other grunts walking around. And the Spartans like say quippy lines that were definitely added after the fact when they kill the grunts. I don't remember the exact line, but you hear it and you're like, that wasn't needed. Like, what? It's not a multiplayer lobby. What the fuck are you guys doing? Like, stop saying quippy lines when he kill a governor. You're a fucking Spartan. Stop it.
Do they not sneak in that shit? Like, do they not sneak in like watching the Mortal Kombat movie? They sneak in like Shang Tsung says flawless victory. Like they sneak shit like that in. Do they do that in Halo?
Yeah, with some of the Spartans. Yeah. Okay. There's 4 Spartans in the show then. Yeah. One of them is super verbose because of story reasons, and the other 2 are like, goal-oriented Spartans that you would come to expect. And then John never shuts the fuck up. He just fucking blabs the entire show.
Do they ever say killing spree or anything like that? Like something the announcer says?
No, I don't think you ever got like a multiplayer award like voice type deal. I don't think that ever happened.
It still bugs me that they took a character that is known for saying so much with so little and apparently just gave him verbal diarrhea. Like, and just diluted. Like it was so cool in the game to have
he talks a
Master
lot.
Chief just say so that he could say just one, especially in the last one. I mean, he could just say like, one line and it would have such weight to it. And they wouldn't even be like certain, like big lines, but it's just like, I don't know, man.
Someone in my chat mentioned like, I think this would turn a lot of people around on the series if at any point in the series someone kills somebody else and they teabag.
They just go over and Master Chief is
like, if they did that, I think people would be turning around on this game or on this series.
The final like 20 minutes of the episode, I was like, all right, that was cool. Spartans doing badass Spartan stuff. A lot of Covenant getting fucking destroyed. They show like how strong a Spartan is, which was really cool to see. They effectively went kind of the superhero route with it, but Master Chief's kind of a superhero, I guess, at the end of the day. He's like a beefed up human in a suit of armor that just destroys a massive amount of people. And they represented that pretty well, I thought. But
is the lead character, if you didn't know what Halo was at all, if you've never seen the show and came in with zero preconceptions, does he do a good job?
Yeah, I don't think he does a bad job. Yeah, he's if the issue for me is, and I think for a lot of people is that it's so hard to, and maybe this is why they kept him out of his armor so much, is because like he's not Master Chief in that sense. He's John Halo, whatever his final name is or his last name is. I just call him John Halo. He's John, and they kind of go as far as to like say this is John. This is not Master Chief. They say Master Chief. They call him that every once in a while, but this is a story about John 117. It's not a story about Master Chief. It's a story about John 117 and the Covenant and the humans being at odds at one another, and kind of this, mythical, holy place of the ring, the Halo. And that's the story.
Do they refer to him as Master Chief ever?
Yeah. They'll say like Master Chief, we blah, 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 need your help, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But they also say John a lot as well. And it's like, he does generally a good job, I would say, Ko. But for me, being the Master Chief, that I played so many games with and know relatively well, final 10 minutes of the episode, he becomes that. He doesn't talk, and he does the doesn't say, someone asks him a question, he'll just turn and look, not say anything, go back to doing whatever he's doing. And I'm like, okay, here we go. We're finally here 9 episodes later.
Could it be the kind of thing that they were just using the first episode to like sell them on an emotional level? And do you think the end of the first season is maybe them transitioning into the video game version?
No, because of story reasons. He will most likely go back to being the emotional John sometime in season 2. I'd be very surprised if he didn't. I can't, unless you want me to tell you.
I got to see it. Yeah, no. I think I'm going to watch it.
I can tell you why I think that is, but
yeah.
if you watch the story as to what happens at the end of the season, then you would know he's going to go back to that.
I think I'm going to watch it. Okay.
Yeah.
Find some time.
Yeah. It's an enjoyable watch for the most part. Some of the episodes are like, why the fuck? That was pointless. Just go to the next. I guess they're setting up season 2 storylines or something. Yeah. I would watch Arcane first, Ko. That way you're playing League of Legends while watching Halo.
Arcane's good.
Arcane's
no what. Arcane's just objectively good, in my opinion.
Arcane's.
You don't even know shit about it.
It's so good. I've actually rewatched it. It's
the story and the animation is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've realized in my workout journey that I'm completely disregarding cardio. So I'm thinking about getting some kind of thing I can do in the evenings while watching TV. I don't know what yet though, but
yeah.
So I'm hopefully, Netflix and such will be back on the menu. I can actually catch up on something. I still haven't seen The Witcher season 2, man. I have so many things. I have so many things I need to see.
Witcher season 2 was fine. I enjoyed it.
I heard it wasn't, but we'll see.
It was fine. I could definitely see people that would have a strong take on why it was bad. But I enjoyed it. Characters were a lot of fun, and Henry Cavill is very good at what he does, which is being a hot Geralt and saying very Geralt things throughout the season.
I do like hot Geralt.
Yeah, that's a hot Geralt right there. Yeah, he's a pretty human being. Watch Arcane first, though.
Do not Google hot Geralt on Urban Dictionary or anything like that. Do not do that.
Oh, is that okay? All right. Gotta watch out for a hot Geralt.
Is that like a hot Carl?
Yeah, exactly. I want it to be a Rule 34 thing. You know,
it might be
hot Geralt.
It might be. Oh yeah, we're not doing spoilers anymore. Sorry, chat.
Oh Lord.
All right, let's do a break. We'll come back, talk a little V Rising. We've all played it. I think Zeke's been playing a lot more offline than he did on stream. I'm done with it. I don't know. Ko might be getting. I think the last time I checked in, he was pretty close.
I've got like 6 bosses left.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk about it all when we get back and whatever else we've all been playing here in Drop Frame. So don't go anywhere. We got more show coming up. We'll see you in just a bit.